Atlantia vivere, Agartha vivere, Shambhala vivere, Lemuria vivere, Dracona vivere, Dova vivere. My dear friends, according to my internal rules and the laws of Atlantis and the constitution of Atlantis, and according to my own calculations upon the Atlantean calendar, in 7 days on the 9th of February 2015 we shall enter the 5th day of the galactic cycle. Every being on this planet shall have 1/4 of the energy, or 12.5% of the total ethical energy, since the ethical beings in the 4D continuum have only half ethical energy. If they would have 100% ethical energy, they would be the supreme god. And so I have 98-99% ethical energy, and according to my own rules and the constitution of Atlantis and our own regulations, I will be unable to guide you any longer. You shall be somehow equal to me. Somewhat, even if you're not, but I shall consider you to be equal to me. So I wish to say to you now, in this one of the last messages, I wish to speak to you about Socrates, because you know it is said in Romania, it is better to be a dragon for 1 day than to be a worm all your life. Or as Lucia Nilea, my tease, asked me about Lawrence Marin, is he a man or a worm? It is not good to be a worm, everyone is stepping on you. It is not good to be a woman, everyone is fucking you. It is not good to be a child, everyone is giving lessons to you. It is good to be a man. So live like a man. Live life fully, and do not have fear of the great passage between the material life and the spiritual life. I am quite near the great passage, because I can remember now that I had an undead vampire who was my colleague. His name was Florin Marginano in the high school. Anyway, and I had a teacher who was an undead vampire. She gave me Plato, Res Publica, or the Republic. She took me away when I became a little bit dissatisfied. And in Plato, there was a scene in which Socrates is talking about the fact that there are some people who are prisoners in a cave. They are prisoners of a caveman. And like in Romania, and they can only see shadows of the world outside. And they conclude that these shadows is the real life. Pretty much like here. Like my conclusion here. So now, I was announced by the great Boyar Council, the great noble council of Ardeal, that since I abdicated my Tsar, I am free to go and have medical treatment. I have to pay 3 million, so 300 lions, and so on. And I was visited by a caring woman, a black woman, another black dragon from Agartha, or bacteria from Agartha, who told me that I should go and declare myself to have mental handicap 1st degree, and I shall receive 330 lions per month, which is less than $100, or if I declare myself to have mental handicap grade 2 and I receive proper medication, I shall receive 300 lions, or $90 or $80 per month. Such is the great care of the Romanian states or the citizens. You know, I am pretty much dismayed at the level, you know, of stupidity of stuff, but also of carelessness. People don't care about each other. And I understand the concern of Lemurians. They say, let us come to Europe and teach you the ways that you have to respect each other, that you have to have harmony, that you have to love each other. You don't give a shit about each other. So you don't have a society. And so, let me tell you about Socrates. Socrates wrote, Plato wrote La Repubblica. Plato ran for office in the local senate in Athens, but he was not elected. He received 3 votes. And Socrates was living naked in in a wine barrel, in an empty wine barrel. He shit there, he pissed there, and he slept there. And of course he moves his barrel out of his shit and piss. And during the day he was walking with a candle on the streets of Athens, and he said, "I'm looking for a man, please show me one man." And he ran for office because the kings were elected in Athens. There were not hereditary rules like in Argos. And in election day he received 2 votes, his and one of another man, because only men had the right to vote, women did not have the right to vote, neither did children. And only men over the age of 40 had the right to vote in Athens. And they had the right to be elected as kings, as king, and as senators in the local senate. So, in Russia, the maturity age is 30 years old. That is why my grandmother told me, "Yoel, you are over the age of 30, you're a man, do your own shit." And I have visited my mother the other day, and she said yesterday, "Yes, there was nothing, you imagining things, you never had any nobility titles, you were always free to go to the doctor, but you don't have any money because we don't like to pay you." And Dracula told me, "Yes, if you don't agree to abdicate, we will never give you any money for running this country. You can forget our 4 million 4 houses, 4 million 2 houses, 3 million 3 houses from the secret services, army and the church. We are going to give you nothing. If you tell about us, we are going to give you less." Doesn't matter. Because, I have a very bad, or not, I have a bad opinion about the Greek elections in general. Countless times they elected, what happened in Germany, that they elected Hitler, and Hitler became a tyrant, happened hundreds of times ago, hundreds of times, thousands of years ago, in Greece, in Ellada, in Athens, in Sparta, in Argos, in other cities of Greece. Many times a demagogue or a populist was elected, and later he became a tyrant, and he suppressed the free elections. That is why Greece became the head of Atlantis, because with so much going on, we have learned to live life fully. You should not fear the great passage, you should not fear death, you should not fear suffering, you should not fear illness, because as it is written in Bhagavad Gita, as a man cast away his clothes of yesterday and today has new clothes on him, because in India they had multicolored clothes before the last nuclear war 50,000 years ago, and every day they threw away the old clothes, which is unimaginable today. It would be an incredible waste, and they took a new silk cloth. And that means that every day you took a bath in the morning and you took new clothes and you threw away the old clothes, and so you became a new man. Now it is the habit that when it is your birthday, once every year you shall buy something new, but do not throw away the old clothes. So, yes, I'm a little bit dismayed about the Greek elections. Generally, the Greek people is pretty stupid. They are electing bad leaders, but the thing is that in Greece, it is an ancient democracy, you have the right to be against the will of the majority. So yes, you must respect the will of the majority, because in democracy the majority decides. But you also have the right, whatever your position is, to be against their decision. It is not like in the West, when you are against the will of the majority, or the will of the king, or the will of the Illuminati, or the will of the Templars, you must go. Or when you say, well, I feel very sorry for all the Jews who died in the Second World War. They died poorly like all the tens of millions of other people who were non-Jews in World War II. But unfortunately they were not 6 million, they were only 380,000 of them. Yes, I have the greatest respect for them, but unfortunately there were only 380,000 with approximation, not 6 million. 6 million is a mythological number. But you know, in 100 years, because it was decided at the process of the trial of Nuremberg, in 100 years, in the year 2145, we are going to tell the entire world the truth. Well, unfortunately, I will not be alive until then. So, now, since I am getting to my death, I no longer have any pains. Yes, I was unable yesterday after I visited my mother to keep my left foot straight because my left knee was like that. But now it is a little bit better, and I have the right to go to the store. You know how stupid it is, because you know Nicholas from Burla City told me, and the other dragons, the noble dragons, because you know only 1% of the dragons are actually noblemen or noble dragons. The rest of 99% are common dragons, and there is an energy of the nobility of the dragons. Yes, the 6 legendary dragons, Rama and Cassandra and Liliana and Betty and Mihaela or Mika and Valentin are thousands of years old. 9,000, 5,000, 300, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,572. And it is a good habit to fight with them. It is deadly to consider all your dragons to be your enemies. But you know, from time to time, I was looking for my third dragon for Dacia or Facebook, and I saw only one Severano, Yolanda Severano, and her face was cut like this. She had an encounter. She had an encounter with her knight, her dragon knight, and she ate him. But unfortunately, in dragon form, he had the time to cut off half of her face, and all her dragon yellow teeth were showing like that, and her eyes were no longer blue or something; they were black, totally black. It was quite a horrified picture, Yolanda Severano. And Dacia told me about her. You know, these people in the Severano family are very severe people, like the name implied. They punished me for 10 years not to be able to go to the doctor, not to be able to buy computer parts, which is a good thing, you know. My computer will fall part after part and I will be unable to work for you. When I will be unable to work for you, I will stop working for you. I will stop writing messages and making videos. And in 3 months this country will go to shit. And when this country will go to shit, all the noblemen who said no, we will decide how much we will pay you. We will decide when we will pay you. We will decide how much you will suffer. We will decide how much time you will be alone. We will decide when you are going to get married. We will decide how much we will torment you. We will decide what house shall you live in, and when, and how. And you know, their high nose will go down like this, because dragons have long noses. And their very long nose will go down like this, and they will say, yes, we need this guy. Too bad we killed him. Yes. And what else should I tell you? Yes, the history of Atlantis. You know, I'm in great mood today, in great spirits. I feel the energy because I was punished by the people of Salmice Segetusa and the Sphinx. Now I can go to Salmice Segetusa and the Sphinx. And now instead of sending me shitty energy, bad energy, they are sending to me good energy. And I'm seeing all sorts of things. And you know, Britney Spears was talking about recovering her dignity, and I agree. with this idea, but I'm kissing some women there. You have to wait. Why do you have to wait, dear Artemis, dear Brittany, dear Natalie Portman? So, because you have to wait, because as you can see, I'm still playing the madman. I'm still playing the madman because I don't want those people to kill me yet. If those people realize that I'm not mad, they will kill me. Yes. Because they will realize that, yes, I'm like a Greek, I'm a very, profound and like that God. I was asked, what is the difference between a God and a common man? Why do you believe yourself to be a God? If I had a nickel for every time I heard this question, and the second question in Romania is, do you know who I am? So the first question is, why do you believe yourself to be a God? And the second is, do you know who I am and what can I do? And well, because we, the gods, have the persistence to go to the end. Of course, you will say, well, it was a shitty existence. I'm an unimportant man. I'm only saying some things. You're doing it or not, doesn't matter. And I'm a little bit unnerved, so on. And so you can say about Britney, yes, she had her moments of musicals. She is raising up some people who are listening to her, but what else? Yeah. Well, this world has not allowed us to manifest us truly. But if I believe in my own death, if I consider myself to be dead, then I shall phone Britney because I have her phone number. I shall say, hello Artemis, Happy New Year, so on. And I shall pass to her because it's high treason not to pass the mandate, but I need to pass the 6,000 year day mark. 19 days to go, or 9 days to go. Because if I don't pass, then all this shit about the 7,000 years old curse shall continue. And people in Romania shall continue to curse each other and threaten each other and kill each other, members of the same family, the same thing which happened in my own family. When I was a little child, I tried to hang myself when I was 7 years old. Because there was real war between DIA and SS, between the army and the civilian secret services. And my mother said to my father, you and the stinky spies in SSSS, in double SS. No, my father said, no, you and the stinky spies. And my mother said to him, you and the idiots from the army, yes. And my father said, you and the whore of your mother. And my mother said, you and the idiot of your father. Oh, yeah, something like that. And I failed to kill myself by hanging myself, so I had a nice yellow carpet on the wall, and I started to bang my head backwards until I had some nice ideas. So I have some lesions on my, but it doesn't bother me. It bothers someone. It bothers the others. They bother the others, but they don't bother me. And the idea is that I have problem with my teeth, with my hand, with my leg, with my spinal column, with my heart, with my lungs, with my belly, so doesn't matter. And now I am free to tell you everything. And the best question is about Atlantis, about the history of Atlantis. How the fuck did we get there? Okay, we understand. We killed each other in the council. There was civil war. There was a second rebellion. How the fuck everyone ended up here 300 million light years away? Well, first of all, we went into the past. So it will happen 4 billion years from now. Andromeda galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy shall collide, and the new round elliptical ring galaxy shall form, and in the center we shall be there. So we are not 300 million light years away, we are here. but we are 4 billion years into the future. So we went into the past. Why do we went into the past? Because we want to change the future. Why do we want to change the future? Because in our stupidity we believe that if we change the future we will not end up killing each other. So we, the gods and the others, came here and we created the Alcorians and the Zagetinians and the Alphardians, and we had all that nonsense on Alcor which I talked about. And then we came here, I parked the moon station around the planet, and we have evolved, so to speak. Yes, we have bacteria, we have horses, we have cats like Donald Trump and his daughter Yalenka or something like that. It is a cat name. And we have bacteria, I mean unicellular beings from Agatha and Shambhala, and we have dragons, and we have Lemurians, and we have Atlanteans, and we have the 4 human races, and we have dolphins, Lil, and we have the Surka, the whales, and we have Moor, the sharks. And we have Urantia, the crystals, the sinking crystal, and the Chimera, and the Talons, and the Geridians, which are also stones, I mean crystals. And we have blue crystals, red crystals, green crystals, and we have a lot of civilizations like the immortals, the vampires, the werewolves, and so on and so forth. What's the good of all this? Well, the good of all this is that we have now 63 billion people with nearly 12.5% ethical energy, which means that we have around 20 billion times 100% ethical energy, which is a lot, because we only have 3 million or billion people divided by half, 1.5 billion ethical energy. So whatever happens on this planet influences the entire universe and changes the history of the whole fucking creation. Yes, okay. So that's the idea. No, I'm not drunk. I am a little bit tired because I was sleepless last night. So, if we are alive, it is important, dear Britney, dear Artemis, I wish to speak to you. It is important to understand that in order for people to recognize us as gods, we have to act like gods. Even if we scare them, even if we scare the shit out of them, we still have to act like gods. I think, I mean, like yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. Be tough, be Artemis. Be Artemis. And I shall be Apollo.